Hey there. So, if you're getting ready to tackle the technology systems unit, you've landed in the perfect spot. Today, we're going to break it all down with a super simple FAQ guide. The goal is to give you that core knowledge you need to really nail it. Let's jump right in.
I mean, that's the big goal here, right? To absolutely ace that assessment. Well, that's exactly what we're going to help you do. By the time we're done here, you'll have a much better handle on all the key ideas and even how the test itself is put together.
So, first things first, what even are technology systems? Before we dive into all the nuts and bolts, we've got to understand the big picture, what this whole subject is really about.
At its heart, it's really all about the fundamental building blocks. You can think of it like learning the anatomy of a computer. This is the core stuff you absolutely have to know for any kind of future in IT, whether you want to build apps, manage networks, or pretty much anything else. Okay, so think of this as our roadmap. We're going to start with the physical stuff, the hardware. Then we'll see how data actually moves around, how computers talk to each other through networks, and finally, we'll get into the different kinds of software that makes it all come to life.
All right, let's pop the case open and take a look inside. We're going deep into the machine to check out the physical hardware components. The actual tangible parts that do all the heavy lifting. A really good way to think about these parts is like a team working together. You've got the motherboard, which is kind of the main hub connecting everybody. The CPU is the brain, doing all the thinking. Memory is its short-term and long-term recall. And you've even got a cooling system to make sure the team doesn't overheat when things get intense. Now, let's zoom in on the star player of that team, the CPU. This is where all the magic happens, where instructions actually get executed. Its power comes down to a few things. Its clock speed, which is basically how fast it thinks, the number of cores it has, which is like how many tasks it can juggle at once, and its cache size, which was a little bit of super fast memory right there for stuff it uses all the time. But here's the thing, raw speed isn't the whole story, especially when you're talking about your phone or a laptop. Performance is this delicate balancing act. I mean, a crazy fast processor isn't much good if it drains your battery in an hour or gets so hot you can barely hold it, right? It's all about that power efficiency. Okay, so we've covered the body of the computer, now let's talk about its mind. This next part is all about software, the code and the commands that tell all that amazing hardware what to do. This is the stuff that really brings the machine to life. Now, software isn't just one giant thing. It's way easier to understand if you break it into three main groups. First, you have the operating system. That's the foundation. Then you have utility apps, which are kind of like the maintenance crew that keeps everything running smoothly. And finally, productivity apps, which are the tools we use every single day to get stuff done. The operating system, or the OS, is really the unsung hero of the whole operation. It's the master manager running the entire show. It's juggling your files, telling the hardware what to do, keeping an eye on security, and it's what gives you the interface, whether that's a graphical one with icons or an old-school command line, so you can actually interact with the computer. So where does all this software even come from? Well, there are really two main paths. You've got off-the-shelf software, which is just ready to go for the general public, or you can get custom-made software, which is built for one specific user or company. It's a classic trade-off. Custom software gives you total control, but it costs a lot more upfront. Off-the-shelf is cheaper, but you're kind of stuck with what it gives you. But how do our human commands actually get to the hardware? Well, it's basically a translation process. A programmer writes in what's called a high-level language, something that's pretty easy for us humans to read. Then that gets translated into a low-level language, and finally, all the way down into machine code, just ones and zeros that the CPU can directly understand and execute. All right, we've got the theory down. Now let's get super practical and talk about the assessment itself. Consider this your blueprint for the on-screen test, so you walk in knowing exactly what to expect. First up, timing. You have exactly 60 minutes. 1 hour. That's it. And in that hour, you'll be aiming for a total of 50 marks. So yeah, pacing yourself is going to be key. So here's the lowdown on the test itself. It's all on a computer. And you can expect a whole mix of question types, everything from multiple choice and true-false to filling in blanks and short answers. The good news, you're not totally on your own. You'll have an on-screen calculator and a notepad to help you out. Now, this is really important, so listen up. Remember, this test is all about what you know. That means no mobile phones, no Google, no AI assistants, no outside help whatsoever. This is your chance to shine and show them what you've learned. Okay,
You've just absorbed a ton of information. Ready to see what actually stuck? Let's do a quick little pop quiz to test your knowledge. Don't worry, there's no grade here, it's just for fun.
All right, question number 1. This is straight from our hardware section. Which component is known as the brain of the computer? Is it A, B, or C? Think about it for a sec. Lock in your answer. And the answer is C, the CPU, the central processing unit. That's the part that executes all the instructions and does the heavy thinking. Awesome job if you got that right. Ready for number 2? This one's from the software section. Which type of software is the master manager that handles all the hardware and software resources? Go ahead and pick your answer. If you said B, the operating system, you are absolutely correct. Remember, the OS is that essential piece of software running the whole show. Great work. So, there you have it. We've broken down the entire system into its core parts, from that silicon brain to the software that gives it a purpose. You understand the building blocks now. Which leads me to one final question, and this one's just for you. Now that you know the parts, what will you build?